Hello guys, the DB Grinder here, back at it again with another video, and this time I'm going to be going over all the deck lists that are public from the Italy National Championship 2025. This tournament had 1,418 duelists in it, and we can see that we weren't able to see like everything that did well. There's actually a lot of unknown decks out of this, but from what we can see that Mitsurugi's doing very well, Malice is doing very well. We can see Pure Ryziel even is what this looks like. One Pure Ryziel made it to the final. Wait, that's not right. Yeah, that's Heraldic Beast Ryziel. That's just not Pure Ryziel. That's Heraldic Beast. Okay, Konami doesn't know how to. Or I guess this isn't even Konami. Then we have Mermail getting a few tops, Crystron getting a few tops, Memento getting a top, and also ended up winning the tournament. We have Tier Limit topping, which is crazy. We have Bestial, which is probably Bestial Fiendsmith, and then we even have a Pearly topping. So we can go ahead and look and see that Memento won, Heraldic Beast Ryziel got second, Mermail got third, Mitsurugi Ryziel got fourth. So 4 different decks in top cut, 2 of them being Ryziel variants, but 2 very different Ryziel decks overall. And we can also, oh wait, that's also crazy that a Mitsurugi Ryziel deck's only like $275. I didn't even know that. Oh wait, oh, their build must be cheap. Okay, but we can just hop into the deck list now. So the first place is the Memento deck list, and we can see that there are 9 hand traps in it, 9 Charmies, and then Super Poly. That's it for going second cards in the main. We can see in the side deck that we have some more going second cards like Droll, Lancia. We also have Ash for going first. That can stop Charmies. Maybe also siding Droll for going first because that card can also stop Charmies. Well, honestly, probably siding those in for sure, right? Then Talon's called by, and then the Horn Dragon take out 9 Charmies, put those in, and then maybe Droplet if Super Poly's bad. But yeah, nothing crazy here. Not playing Fiendsmith cards. Yeah, I mean, honestly, not too much to say. Oh, we see, like, a time card. Yeah, I mean, this deck always has to play a time card. It takes a while. We're playing the rank 3 one instead. Now we can see the Heraldic Beast Ryziel deck that got second place. Main decking Nemesis Flag plus Protos. This stuff is pretty good. Going first or second into a board. We can see that they played only 1 Griffin, 2 Leo. Okay. A lot of people kind of have these ratios somewhat different. Like, they'll play 1 Leo and then 2 to 3 Griffin. Because Griffin is like a half starter. While Leo, like, it gets you interruptions, it gets you follow-up. While Leo is just like a brick. But if you play 2 of it, then it makes your whale stronger. We see Fua, Astral, Nib, Imperm, Called by Crossout, Talents, Pot of Prosperity, playing 40, 3-7 Tachyon plus a 7th Ascension, only 2 of the Heraldic Beast spells. In the extra deck plays the Star Liege, plays Cowboy for Time, which Cowboy for Time actually sounds kind of crazy in this deck, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this deck doesn't really go to time. I get it though, like, I always like having a time card on my deck list, but still, I don't know if this deck actually would like ever go to time, I'm not gonna lie. Then we have Harpy's Featherstorm, FTK, we have Plasma Hole, which we sided going first. You can get access to it off Star, Duo Drive, but it also means that when you open Griffin combo, that you can get access to this and then make Detonator on their turn. But I guess that doesn't even matter. We're only playing 1 Griffin, so that shouldn't really come up. This is just like a trap that they can search going first that they can side in. Encore, this also beats Harpy's Featherstorm because you can Encore back Castell or like Detonators, so that's probably why they're playing it. A lot of people are scared of Harpy's Featherstorm, even though people have been playing less of this card as of recently. We see a Mermail list playing 44 cards. This doesn't look anything crazy. I mean, this kind of reminds me of like just a standard Mermail deck. Yeah, I guess like 2 Poseidra instead of 3. But not really too much else to say about it. No Called by in the main deck or anything. This card's like, kind of a going first card, kind of a going second card right now. Because you can like Called by Murakumo, which is pretty nice. Looking at the 4th place deck list, main deck Crossout, Called by Fua, Nib, Droll, Ash, Imperm, 2 Nib. I've also seen a lot of people cut this down to 1 in this deck, just so that way they can search it off Gallant, but they also cut Gallant to play Cowboy. We also see Typhon in the extra deck too. We do not see any Ouroboros, so they cut Ouroboros plus the Gallant from the extra deck. On to the next list now. This is a top 8 deck list. Side decking Protoss for going second, but doesn't side deck, Nemesis Flag or Banshee or anything. Just simply one Protoss, and it's like, okay, cool. Like, if I draw it, I draw it. I can just summon it and wipe the board. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have any way to search it or anything. They only play one sword in their deck, one node, no star. Playing more Mitsurugi cards with the pre-prep and the ritual spell, 3 ritual spell, trap in the main. So this is really just more of like a pure Mitsurugi deck with a very small Ryziel package. I guess it's not like very small. It's really just like no star, no cross, and then cut sword down, play a little bit more Mitsu stuff. Now we have another top 8 list, which is a Ryziel Mitsurugi list. We see no star in this list either, so it's seeming like, a lot of people are starting to try to cut star. No star, no cross, playing more Mitsurugi stuff, just like the other list was. I think people are realizing, like, Mitsurugi cards are just absurd. They beat Charmies, which is huge. Like, Ryziel's playing the Charmies really bad. These cards are just so solid at what they do. It does suck that there's like a decent amount of awkward cards in the engine, but if you play a lot more Mitsurugi, then like, your Murakumo is going to be awkward less of the time if you're playing an extra ritual spell, an extra triple pre-prep, a mirror. We don't have the Code Igniter or anything in the extra deck like we saw in the last list to be able to ritual summon. We don't see that in this list. We can see the Gravedigger's Trap Hole in the side. Wait. So we side deck 2 Gravedigger's Trap Hole, but don't even play Rafflesia? So we actually think that this is just like a good choice? I guess it hits like Haba and stuff. It does hit like a decent amount of effects, but I'm just surprised you would play this over like, I don't know, like a Solemn Warning. I know they don't necessarily hit the same cards, but they hit a lot of the same stuff. Or you could play Solemn Strike, and Solemn Strike actually does everything that this card does, but more, but doesn't have the burn aspect of it. I feel like you'd only be playing this card if you played Rafflesia, so I just feel like that is crazy. Like, that was a crazy choice. There's no way that's the trap you choose. Now we can see the tier limit list. This is top 16. Let's see, 1 shuffler in the deck, that's fine. Playing a bunch of cash cards, playing multiple Solic, Meta Noise, multiple Scream, yeah, playing a bunch of board breakers, okay. Something that I have seen messed around in this list some, that I thought was pretty good, is playing like White Force cards. I think those cards are pretty broken in this deck overall. Like the one that lets you pop, like the quick effect, the Vengeance one, like that one's pretty nice. I think that package might be pretty good, but yeah, this isn't crazy. This is just like, there's nothing like crazy in the deck or anything. We're not doing anything like too out of pocket. Yeah, just like fairly standard tier limit Fiendsmith things that you'd expect from like a 60 card deck. Now we have the Bestial Fiendsmith deck. Just looking at this list, 2 Veiler, 2 Ogre, 2 Droll, 3 Fua, 3 Ash, 3 Bell, 3 Nib, a Talons, 2 Sornier, 2 Baldrake, a Druisworm, a Magma Mutt. I mean, that's a lot of hand traps, and Bestials are hand traps in the Mitsurugi. We can also see in the side deck we played 2 Warning and a Scolding. I am actually a huge fan of Scolding. This card is really sick, I'm not gonna lie. It's really cool, but it also is a little bit weird. Really depends how you build your deck, but like I don't think I'd ever want to side like 3 Scolding, because like you really do get punished if you draw 2, and in a deck like this, like you're actually trying to like draw 2 turn 1 off Necro Equip, like 1 off Regained also, and like I don't know, it's like Scolding is like slightly better than a card of like Judgment, but it is better. It's just like slightly better, it has some downsides behind it too. Which is probably why they play 1 Scolding, 2 Warnings, so that way they can never draw 2 of this. And then, if you draw like these in combination, that's fine, as long as their first action isn't like Lightning Storm, call back row. Onto the next list now. We have a Malice deck list playing the Metal Tronus and the Danger Snake in the main deck. This is so that way you can Metal Tronus the Mitsurugi deck or Metal Tronus the Ryziel deck. You could also play like one nib in the main deck and have that as a Metaltronus target for detonator, and then you could play the extra deck target for the reptilian that you can use against Mitsurugi. You could do that also, but then your Metaltronus is unable to banish detonator face down if they do have Eclipse Twins underneath of it. Which, you know, that does happen fairly often. People also are searching Nib. So if they have Detonator with Eclipse Twins under it, you Metaltronus it, and they have a Nib that was searched, then at some point they're going to be able to activate Nib and, you know, activate the Eclipse Twins effect. So that's like another thing to, like, you know, think about. I know it doesn't matter too much. You also have White Binder that can banish XYZs from their grave, so the Eclipse Twins wouldn't be able to activate, but if they had like a duo, Detonator, and Eclipse on field, and the Eclipse is under this, then White Binder wouldn't even matter. Mistaken Arrest on the side, this is very popular. You just need cards that are really good against Ryziel. And then Mistaken Arrest, like, technically you could also side it into, like, the mirror match. Droll isn't very good against the mirror, but Mistaken Arrest is better than Droll, because you chain it to the first search card, and then it just, like, stops them completely. It's not like Droll, where Droll is, like, an inherent -1. Mistaken Arrest is, like, an inherent 1-for-1 most of the time. Now we have a Mitsurugi Malice deck list playing 5 Charmies, Ash, Droll, Impulse, Metaltronus with the Detonator, playing 1 Chessie, Rabbit, Dormouse, 2 March Hare, all the backup stuff, playing Danger Snake with the Metaltronus too. Yeah, I guess. I mean, we have, like, Saji, but I guess, you know, we don't really want a Metaltronus be summoning, like, Saji, because then we can't Haba into it. Yeah, let's just have Snake for this. Then we can see just MTP, no GWC, side decks it, probably for time, but also just going first, you know, putting more engine in is nice. This deck list is interesting. We have a Bawa in it. It's not like you really have, like, extra deck stuff for Mitsurugi. They also decided that they didn't need Zombie Vampire. That's something that I've noticed in a lot of the other Mitsurugi Malice deck lists that I've been seeing. Because these engines don't actually, like, get to each other, but if you play Zombie Vampire, at least, you know, you have Mitsurugi that says Mill 4, and then you have a few Malice names that you can hit there that might be able to get you something. Now we can see, or also, like, even if you hit backup, right, you could, like, backup, search Dormouse, discard Dormouse, make SP with, oh, we don't even play SP, we play Cerberus, that's crazy. Cerberus, that's Chaos Hunter, I guess, but your deck should beat Chaos Hunter a decent chunk of the time. We also don't play Bestials in our deck for Metaltronus, so that won't out Chaos Hunter. But I guess we have Cryptor. No, that doesn't even work, right? Yeah, it doesn't even work. Wait, no, that does work, right? Dark with 25 attack. Am I tripping? I might be tripping. No, I'm pretty sure that works. I'm pretty sure that works. To summon a Dark with 25 attack. Because it has to match 2 of them, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure attack, attribute, type. Pretty sure that's the criteria as it goes by. I don't know how I'm just, like, blanking on that right now. I'm pretty sure you can, though. Pretty sure just, like, it was better to Metaltronus summon, like, a Bestial over this, because you would just, like, lose access to this. I guess you can kind of get access to it, though, with March Hare. Like, getting access back into it. Now we have a Crystron deck that got top 32. Playing the standard Crystron ratios in the deck. Playing the Horus package with only 1 brick in it. Playing 9 hand traps, 3 super poly, 3 droplet. 2 King Sark. Plays the Legatia in the deck. Yeah, there's just nothing like that. Crazy Spooky Dogwood for time. Okay, on to the next deck list. We have the Fiendsmith Mitsurugi deck, and they're also playing the Lamina in the deck, and this can search you for the Habakiri, because it just searches for a level 8 reptile. We can see that they play the Kaiju in the deck. They play 5 Charmies, Astral, 1 Nib, so they can search it off Gallant. They play Impulse in the deck. We can see that they're also playing, like, all the Ragna Link cards in the deck, the alien stuff, but doesn't play, like, the alien, like, FTK package or anything. Well, not FTK, but, like, Floodgate package. Doesn't side deck, like, anything for going first outside of Talons. So, that's weird, to be honest, right? Because what do? You put in 4? Like, you need to be able to side out 5 cards, right? And I don't really see how we're doing that with this deck when, you know, we have, like, 5 cards. Like, you need to be able to side out 5 cards. These four only really work going second, unless if they side Gamma in going first. I guess they could be doing that. But if you have like those four, like 8, like these don't even work against a lot of matchups. Feel like we don't have that much of an actual extra deck or side deck here. It's fairly interesting. And then on to the next deck, we have the Malice deck. Playing 4 Bystials in main decking more Bystials, something that's going to be popular because of all the Mitsurugi decks. Having like a way to out the Murakumo is nice. We can also see main decking GWC, side decking Mistaken Arrest, Spell Card Monster Reborn, Metaltronus, Talons, Detonator, Perulia, Lancia. Main decking 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 plus Bystials. Yeah, because they main deck Called By, they main deck Cross Out, they main deck pretty much max Malice Engine. Yeah, outside of like playing Allure, like they play the 3 Chessie, a 3 Marcher, 3 Backup. They play the GWC. Okay, on to the next deck list now. We have another Malice deck list. Playing 4 Bystials, 5 Charmies, 2 copies of Nib, a Droll, some warnings. This looks fairly similar to the other list that we saw. Now we have a Mermail list playing 48. Oh wow, they play the Barrier Statue, they play the General Raiho, they play 2 Pike, they play the Butter Spy, they play the Ice Jade that you can search off the Shrine. They play 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 18, 19-ish non-engine, which is a lot. But that's just because they took like the normal Mermail deck list and then slammed like 3 more extra non-engine into it, and then slammed a couple more engine into it, and then called it a day. The only problem well, not the only problem, but one problem I do have with this deck is like, you know, if we go over the actual amount of like starters here, you know, we have 8, 11, 12. You know what I mean? 12, that's not a good amount of starters. Now, the deck does have like a few 2-card combinations that you can also draw. Like, you could draw double Shadow Squad. You could draw Poseidra plus Dragoon Shadow Squad. So the deck does, you know, combo more than just with the 12 starters. But you can see how that could be a problem in a long tournament like this. We can even see them siding into like Deep Sea Divas, having more consistency going first. Siding into 6 going first, Talents plus these 5, taking out the 6 Charmies probably, or maybe leaving Perulia in because it's a water, but we have a lot of waters, so it's probably not that big of a problem. Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me if they were knocked out of the tournament just due to bricking in their top 3-2 match. Now we can see the Crystron deck. Once again, just playing like standard ratios. They do play the extra brick though. They played the extra King Sark. They don't play Super Poly Droplet. They decided to play 15 hand traps instead, which I think is a lot worse, to be honest. I don't think Nib's very great that format, or like this format. I feel like these cards are fairly low impact. I feel like, you know, you have like, you know, the Charmies, the Droll, like those are high impact hand traps. You have like Droplets, Super Poly. These are like some high impact non-engine cards, like Board Breakers. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it too much. They do play Chambara. I think this card's sick. Then we have Crow, Bell in the side. Yeah, prepared for Mitsurugi, Called By, Dark Ruler in here, Lightning Storm, Lancia. We have Pearly. They were playing the Dawn Angel Combi, which this can special summon itself out, and then you could tribute itself to summon out a Pearly or a Purrlily from deck. And then you're locked in the fairies for the rest of the turn. So it's like kind of another like quick play spell in a way. Then they play 3 Fua, 3 Perulia. These cards are nice in this deck. You can like discard them if you draw them going first, or just use them going second. They do suck to draw off your Sleepy though. But that's just how old like these type board breaker cards are gonna be. Like even like Salesman, Dark Ruler, Talons, Imperm, Monster Reborn. Like most of their non-engines pretty bad to draw off New War, to be honest. But playing Salesman, playing Dark Ruler, is this? I assume we're going first. Yeah, I assume we're going first with this deck list. It also sucks because like Dominus Impulse is very popular in multiple of the meta decks, and that forces us to try to go for a plump play turn 1, because otherwise, like, if we try to go yeep and then the impulse yeep, you just lose instantly. Like, literally the only interruptions we can possibly have if they imperm yeep or impulse yeep, a lot of the time it's just going to be like droll and pray. Like, that's a like, I doubt we're going to have like a plump setup with like multiple quick play spells to have banishes or anything. That's not like common. Then we have Spooky Dogwood on the side. Looking at the last deck list now, we have a Mitsurugi deck. Just playing pure Mitsurugi. 9 hand traps, 12 hand traps, plus 3 super poly, and a called by. This deck beats Charmies very well, beats the other non-engine very well, even if you get hit with Impulse. You know, we have 7 ritual spells right here, plus Magatama, it's another ritual spell. We also have, like, ways to search the ritual spell off Haba, Saji, Aramasa in the Haba, Pot of Prosperity, which will hit a, you know, ritual spell fairly consistently, Prayer, Tribute Ritual Monster, so it's like, Impulse hurts, but we'll play through it a majority of the time. We also have Warlords and Gozen in the side, so having Floodgates for certain matchups. Mischief of the Gnomes here is a random one of, with the 1 thrust. Okay, sure. Imperial Ironwall for Malice. I mean, this card is just game if you flip it against Malice. It is really, really good. Droll, Lancia, then side decks the Kaiju, decided to not main deck it. A lot of people have decided to main deck the Kaiju, though, instead of side decking it. But that is going to be it for the video now. And those were all the deck lists that are publicly available right now. And also, it does kind of suck because this is like pre-BLMM. And it's also weird because, like, Europe isn't going to have Battles of Legend until basically September. It doesn't come until the end of August. And the TCG, like an NA, we get it in a few days. So Europe is going to be like a month and a half behind us for set releases, which is going to make it really awkward, especially with all the World Championship qualifiers coming up. It's also going to make it awkward for like the content that I make, because I'm going to be posting like post-BLMM content, and it's not even going to be very helpful to Europeans because, you know, those cards don't come out yet. And also, I don't even know if Duad will be out for the EWCQ now. Actually, I have no idea. That's something I should probably look into. But with all that being said, the DB Grinders signing off. Peace, have a nice day, stay safe.